It has been 1 year since our Cape Crusader hit the silver screen. Today, we revisit the Batman on the Gist. Hey yo, what's good? Welcome to the Gist with me, Jared. Last year, Matt Reeves brought us the Batman, a phenomenal interpretation of the world's greatest detective in the DC universe. In my lifetime, I have seen many a man don the cape and cowl. I've had Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale, Affleck. Special shout out to my favorite Batman, Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
And now we have Pattinson. Now, when I first heard that Robert Pattinson was going to play the Batman, I'll be honest, I was a little apprehensive. I was pretty nervous. Could Edward really convey the essence of The Dark Knight? Would I believe him as the hero of Gotham? How would he fare amongst the lengthy legacy of actors that have played Bruce Wayne? And to tell the truth, after seeing this movie 2 times, that man did his thing. That's a good place to start with what I enjoyed about the Batman. And be warned, we're getting to all that spoilery goodness. So many aspects about this film were exceptional, and the performances being one of them. From Gotham PD, to our main characters, to the villains. Ooh, those villains. And everybody in between, I could not identify a poor performance in my second viewing of this film. Some quick kudos right here. Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon, killing it. Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle, killing it. Andy Serkis as Alfred, magnifique. Staying on the hero side of our spectrum, let's get into Robert Pattinson's performance as the Batman. This film provides such a unique interpretation of the Batman. Batman is introduced and depicted as such a menacing character, vengeance incarnate. In the beginning of the film, not only do the criminals fear him, but everybody else does as well. The way they shot Batman with slow-moving camera work, the loud and heavy boots in the distance, in the darkness, walking up to the criminals, the physicality of his combat. There was some speed to his striking, but there were a lot of heavy blows to perpetrators. Oh, and did I mention his suit eats bullets? A great depiction of Batman. And more to that, we also get to see the detective side of Batman in a way that I can't recall we've seen before. He investigates the crime scenes with some technological assistance, but you can really see his machinations, his thought process as he starts to piece things together, as he solves the Riddler's riddles. I was very impressed with how they showcase this aspect of Batman, again, in a way that I can't recall seeing before. Another point to mention about this film, the world building is exceptional. You can really feel Matt Reeves create Gotham as a character. Every shot, the color palette, the weather, the scene location, everything works together to make you believe that Gotham is truly this seedy, this dark, this criminal, this grimy place. There is a looming milieu of Gotham that overarches the rest of the film because of how well Matt Reeves executed the creation of this city. And this further enhances the story being told. And that leads me to my next point of pleasure about the Batman, that being the story and the plot. A mystery movie will automatically draw me in, but a mystery movie written and executed this well, sends me over the moon. I thoroughly enjoyed trying to solve the Riddler's riddles with Batman as we were going along the story, and gave myself a pat on the back when I got it right. Also, I was so impressed with how they chose to adapt the lore of Batman in this movie. Spoiler warning, the twist of Selina Kyle as Falcone's daughter, Martha Wayne actually being Martha Arkham and struggling with mental illness and a really dark backstory. Thomas Wayne, a seemingly good man who makes one bad decision enough to get exploited by a gangster. All of this had my mind blown with how well it worked within the story. The narrative and the storytelling were exceptional. Bringing my strengths of the film full circle, let's talk about those villains. Falcone, played by John Turturro, gangsta. You know, when I watched this movie for the first time, I knew that Colin Farrell was in it, but I had no idea that he was the Penguin. An exceptional, I'm using that word a lot, a fabulous performance. It was incredible to see Colin Farrell change into the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot. Literally unrecognizable and so convincing. And that waddle was pretty funny. Now Paul Dano as the Riddler, whew, this dude, bravo, man, bravo. Dano is so skilled at playing a sick, sadistic, and creepy guy. And to me, I think it was really his face. I mean this in the kindest way. He has such a unassuming, NPC, basic guy kind of a face. There isn't anything about him that screams villain. He isn't your stereotypical mustache twirling villain. And that's what makes it brilliant. He's an average guy who's had enough and then chose to enact his plan of vengeance and accountability, but in a very drastic way. The movie depicts the Riddler and the Batman as two sides of the same coin. By the time we get to the end of the third act of the film, we see Batman's realization of this and witness the beginnings of his transformation from vengeance incarnate into the hero that Gotham deserves. So much in this movie works and is absolutely fantastic. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the very few nitpicky things that didn't work for me in this film. As great as Robert Pattinson did as the Batman, I wasn't as ecstatic about his performance as billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is depicted as a recluse and honestly a jerk, especially to Alfred. And he's pretty skinny. We get a few shirtless shots of him in the film and I thought, that's it? I would have preferred more muscle on the guy. Now again, on my second viewing of the film, this is an opinion that is very loosely held. I've become more accepting to the idea that this isn't the fully developed persona of Bruce Wayne. And that as more time comes, and hopefully in the sequel, we see Robert Pattinson depict the suave socialite Bruce Wayne that we're accustomed to seeing. Oh, and you gotta be able to drive stick, man. You can't be stalling the Batmobile. Again, very nitpicky issue, but one that I have to bring up. A final point of slight contention with this film is one of verisimilitude. For the majority of the film, the audience buys in and can believe in the events that we're seeing as the narrative plays out. There is a sense of authenticity to the events that we're seeing played on the silver screen. And yet, a few moments come to mind where the verisimilitude, that sense of logic and truth to the narrative, for me, was broken. First being Batman's durability. I know his suit can literally eat bullets, but the moment in the film where he glides off the top of a building and smacks into a cinder block, taking some debris with him, and then he gets up, somewhat damaged, but good enough to fight the next fight sequence. For a more grounded depiction of Batman, that was a little hard to believe. Especially at the end of the movie where he takes close-range shotgun shells to the chest and is seemingly more impacted by that than the cinder blocks. A little inconsistent for me. A quick mention of another logical inconsistent moment or slight inauthenticity for me was Riddler's final stage of the plan. I understood and believed his ability to find and uncover the truth about corrupted officials, faulty systems in Gotham, and reveal those truths to the public, and therefore sowing more distrust. But his final part of the plan to blow up the water dams surrounding Gotham and flood the city and rely on extremists in an online forum to execute the final part of his plan, that was a bit of a stretch for me. Again, for me, there aren't many issues to be had with this film, but for the few I do, they're nitpicky. at best. And that's the gist to my revisit of 2022's The Batman. An incredible comic book movie with even better performances. I'd like to hear your thoughts on The Batman. Did you like Battinson's depiction? Where do you think this story goes next? Hit me up, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time on The Gist.